Hi folks, it's William with Lodestone, here with another quick tip for you. Now today's quick tip comes to us from Adobe Photoshop. Here on screen you can see that I have a stock image. Now this particular image comes to us from Fotolia, and it is obviously an office environment, and there is a message being displayed on the computer screen. Now a lot of times you can purchase imagery like this that already has some graphics or message on the device in question here, but a lot of times that message is very generic. So this one is about training, and so that probably works for most situations. But what if you need to customize that message? This image does not have any imagery on the devices. And this is pretty typical because it's very difficult to photograph a computer screen or a device screen and have it come out relatively accurately. It's very difficult to do. So a lot of times, like I said, you'll find it's just a blank screen. Now, in the lower left-hand corner, I have actually two different screenshots that I've taken here, and I want to incorporate these into that computer. So we're going to start with the first one here, and it's the darker one, the one on the left. What I want to do is I want to come over here to my layers panel. Now I've modified the layers panel here a little bit, and you'll see why here a little later on, but basically I have the background image, I have my two screenshots. My two screenshots are within a group of layers here. So that little folder icon represents a group. And what I want to do is just target that first screenshot. So I target that layer just by clicking on it once. I'm going to select all. So I use the keyboard shortcut of Command A, Control A on a PC to select all of that, and then I cut it. Command X or Control X on a PC. And now that particular thumbnail, that little screenshot, is in memory. Now, how are we going to get it onto the laptop? So I'm going to go up to the filter menu, and I'm going to choose the Vanishing Point filter. Now, this Vanishing Point filter is going to take over the screen. We're still going to see the other screenshot down there, but don't worry about it. It's not a big deal. What I want to do is define the area of the screen where I want these screenshots to sit. So you have this little tool, kind of looks like a little crosshair here, and what you do is you just kind of click and point the different corners, of the plane. So I'm not too concerned about being super accurate here because I can always modify this. So I've got my plane in place, but before I put the image in there, I want to go ahead and modify this and make sure it's just perfect. So over here on the left, you'll find that you do have a small variety of tools within the Vanishing Point filter, and the zoom tool is one of those. So I'll grab that, and I'm just going to zoom in over here on the left-hand side. And it looks like I need to modify the plane a little bit. I'll go back over here to the left, and the very first tool in this toolbox, top left corner, is the Edit Plane tool. So I use this to modify my plane. And that looks pretty good. Grab this one over here on the right a little bit. Pretty good. And the one at the bottom right. Pull it out a little bit. I'm going to zoom back out. I'm going to use a Command 0, that'd be Control 0 on a PC. And then I want to paste. So Control V on a PC or Command V on a Mac. And that's going to paste your image. In this case, whatever it is that you cut in the previous step. So here is my first screenshot. It's just kind of floating up here in the top left corner. I'm going to mouse over it, click, hold, and drag it, and drop it right here in the computer screen. Now, as soon as I get it over here, you can see that it has rotated and scaled and put this image in perspective. But if I mouse outside of the image here, outside of the plane, notice that anything outside of that plane is being cropped off. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and line this up, say in the top left corner of that screen. And then I'm going to go over here to the left, and I'm going to grab one other tool. There is a free transform tool. And so I'm going to grab that transform tool. I'm going to grab the corner handle here on my screenshot, hold the shift key while I scale it up. Now, the aspect ratio here on this particular screenshot is a little off, but it's okay. Scaling it up doesn't seem to hurt it. The important message here is up here closer to the top. So I think I'm pretty good here. If I wanted to, I could hide the menu. I could, readjust the positioning here and hide that information. It looks pretty good. I think that's good. I'm going to go ahead and accept this. So in the upper right-hand corner, I click the OK. And there we have it, our customized screenshot right there inside the computer screen. Now, Let's jump to the next layer here. Let's say we want to put another message in here. So I have a second screenshot on another layer. I'll target that layer first and then go through the same processes. Select all, cut the content from that layer, and I'm going to go back to the filter menu, back to Vanishing Point. But this time, notice that the grid is already there. Awesome. I don't have to rebuild the grid. All I have to do is paste my content, drag it into position, and then scale it. Tell it OK. And now I have two separate layers with the different messages, so I can toggle those on and off to get the different messages displaying on the computer screen. Now, one last thing that I want to do here, and this is why I set up the layers the way I did. I went ahead and grouped all of the screenshots into what they call a layer group. There's a little folder icon here. So I just collapsed that group so that we can see that I have a couple of adjustments in here as well. Now, I used an exposure adjustment and a hue saturation adjustment, and I'm going to turn these on. And what it does is to help, kind of sell the idea that this is actually part of the photograph, because on their own, without the adjustments, those two screenshots are a little too bright and they just don't fit within the photo. So you can use whatever adjustment you want to just modify the colors and the brightness value, but now I think we get a much better look. It looks like those screenshots were actually there in the computer when the photograph was taken. So there you have it, getting a little perspective here in Photoshop. Now, if you want to learn more about Photoshop, other Adobe applications, and e-learning applications, be sure to check us out on the web at lodestone.com.